Hello, many blessings, my loves. My name is Rebecca, and I'm very glad to be back doing a report for you all for this full moon that's coming up tonight. So, yeah, it's today, the 12th of May at 17:55 in the GMT time zone. So, yes, I have been away for a while. I haven't done like a proper report for a little while. Yeah, I've had one of my beloved family members pass over in the last kind of month or so. And yeah, I've just been processing a lot, grieving a lot, taking space. And yeah, and I felt like today, like I've got so much kind of energy for this full moon and wanted to share with you my musings. Finally got a bit of space and wanting to be back here in this place with you. So yes, welcome everyone. So we've got some big shifts coming in the next month or so. So, you know, this cycle that we're in now, it started, let me find the date of when it started. On the 27th of April was when we had our new moon. And yeah, and then since then we've had our Beltane and Samhain portal, depending on where you are in the world. And like I feel like the Beltane and Samhain portals are really, the Beltane is about coming out, from after being in the underworld. And the Samhain portal is when we go back in. So this is the energy of Beltane and Samhain, very much connected to the veils being thin, being very connected to your ancestors and the spiritual realms. And yeah, so I've been feeling a lot like moving through me in this last cycle. And the Beltane energy this year for us in Glastonbury is the strongest I've felt it since I've lived here. And there was a lot of serpent energy. This is the year of the serpent. We've got Uranus on Algol at the moment as well, the head of Medusa, and yeah, Uranus is opposing this full moon today, and the sun is with Uranus over in the last degrees of Aries coming into Taurus. So we'll look at the charts and the sky in a moment. But this cycle has felt like a huge kind of invitation into deeper parts of ourselves in relationship to, our, how we relate with those around us, how we, relate to the land and the earth and all of the family that is here on the earth. So there's a real kind of energy this cycle with this full moon, which will be tonight in Libra in the live sky. I know like many people were talking about the Scorpio full moon, but in the live sky, astronomically, we'll see in a minute that this full moon is in the stars of Libra. Originally, at one point, Libra and Scorpio were one constellation, and yeah, something that came through my nana passing actually, like because she passed when the moon was in Libra. Um, there's like this energy of having to weigh our hearts before we can die, like having to balance and come into peace. What is it that's heavy on our heart? What is it that brings us down? What is it that keeps us spiraling into despair and overwhelm and sadness and how can we find a way to find a lightness in our heart? So the story of Libra is connected very strongly to Maat, the Egyptian goddess of the underworld. And so she would weigh people's heart against a feather. And for them to go into the underworld in peace, they had to, you know, allow their heart to be as light as a feather. So this is kind of like bringing up stuff that is like making us find a state of balance in ourselves before these big changes that are to come. Because in the next cycle, the new moon will be on the 27th of May. We've got the nodes shifting and we've got Jupiter moving into Gemini. So the South Node will be moving first into Leo on the 30th of May. That's just after the next new moon. And then we've got on the 16th of June, Jupiter going into Gemini. And then at the end of that 23rd of June, around about the time of the summer solstice or winter solstice, depending where you are in the world, the North Node is moving into Aquarius. So isn't this interesting that Jupiter moves into Gemini, really close by to the North Node moving into Aquarius? So we can expect lots of change, lots of movement, lots of travel, lots of learning, lots of AI, lots of kind of stuff about, artificial intelligence. We can expect technology to go boom, with the North Node moving into Aquarius and Gemini moving into Jupiter moving into Gemini. So there's going to be lots of information shifts and a massive expansion in technology. So this is coming in the next cycle. So it feels like this cycle, in preparation for that, is really about coming into balance in ourselves. It's a preparation for great changes to come and big shifts coming in the next cycle. And this is, reflective of the work that we've been doing through this eclipse season as well. It's been so powerful, which has been connected to the nodes in Pisces and Virgo. So as the nodes are preparing to shift, we've got to kind of complete something around this as well, around Virgo and Pisces, to enable us to shift into Aquarius and Leo, which is really different. It's really, really different to, Virgo and Pisces. So this, I'll dive more into that in my next video I'm going to do for the new moon, because this cycle to come is really big. But talking about bigness, this full moon, which is happening tonight, Jupiter is making a T-square to the nodes in Pisces and Virgo. So, yeah, there's a need to expand our wisdom and our learning, um, our generosity, really look into ways that we can spiritually grow, and Jupiter square in T-square in the nodes, it brings a lot of tension as to, where our destiny wants us to go, and where, the past life and the South Node wants to kind of keep us in the safety zone. So Jupiter is really expanding all of that collective destiny, collective past at the moment, and I feel like it's very interesting, the timing, as Jupiter is about to move into Gemini as well. So let's go into the sky. I'm just going to show you Stellarium Web. So as we can see, the full moon, like I said, will be at 17:55. Just going to put the time. That's this evening. So we can see this is Stellarium. This is astronomy. This is the sky as it is right now, live. So you can see the full moon, it's tonight at 17:55 will be in Libra here. So yeah, this is about balance. It's about our relationships. It's about fairness. It's about conflict resolution. It's about trying to find harmony and peace and amidst the probably chaos, So and yeah, and then in preparation for, what's to come in the next cycle, this is a really good opportunity, this full moon, to really tune into how we can be in more balance, how we can look at things that we're doing too much of or that we're not doing enough of, way that things kind of feel that they're not quite harmonious. How can we make shifts and changes within our everyday life and in ourselves that can create more harmony? I'm going to as well just go over to the sun. So the sun is, as you can see here, is like right in the middle between, it's not quite in Taurus, although it's quite aligned to the first stars of Taurus here, and it's aligned to the last stars of Aries as well. So it's kind of, it's very cuspy, isn't it? It's you can see that Uranus is aligned to Algol as well, and there's an asteroid next to Uranus at the moment called Iris, who I've been watching for a little while. Iris, the iris is of our eye. We have irises in our eye, and there's also yeah, the iris is in the flower. There's a flower called iris, and so something that kind of dropped in when I was tuning into this energy here in the sky. It's like this is all about perception. Uranus wants us to evolve. Uranus wants us to wake up. Uranus wants us to do it different, to break free, to be radical, to be bold, to be ourselves, to be our unique essence of life, who we're here to be in this lifetime, to break the rules, to do things differently, to forge new paths, And so next to Iris, so I just kicked my cup. Next to Iris, it's an energy of really changing the way that we see things. There could be radical shifts and changes coming with our perception, the way that we see. So also Uranus close to the sun, with Iris, could be bringing a lot of kind of like kind of unsettledness in our vision, or feeling kind of scattered, things feeling quite erratic and like accident prone. Like we could be with this the sun kind of in this place right at the end of Aries. I mean, this is coming into like a birthing energy now, because the Taurus energy is like the Hathor, the midwife that catches the baby as it comes through the birth portal and into the physical earth. So where the sun is right now, it's literally coming through the birth portal and into a new earth, a new perception, an upgraded version of the earth, So we are getting to experience this now, with the sun conjunct Uranus. There's like an opportunity to, with Iris being here, to look at things in a new way, to make shifts and changes around, our physical reality, the places that we live. We may be feeling massive shifts within, our stability, with money, with resources, with like the environment, with practical things. Like things might be really turbulent in that physical realm right now, because the energy where the sun is has been very fast paced, and Aries is often associated to like the I am energy. So I am here, I want this. It's kind of like very young toddler energy that's really like dynamic, like gonna get things done, gonna get things started, great initiative, to kind of really activate new things. So that's great, but this full moon in Libra is kind of saying, okay, so the I am energy wants all of this. I want. How can we also look at what other people need? It's not just about I want. There's like also we, they, other, Libra, so this is the kind of balance that we're working with at the minute. It's kind of like this energy of I am individual, self, freedom, revolution, break out of the box, like do it differently. And Libra's like, okay, but it needs to be balanced, Like because if it's all me, 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 and we're all me, 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 nothing's gonna change, right? And this world, like with this nodes about to move into the North Node moving into Aquarius and the South Node moving into Leo, it's leading in communities, So we have to learn to work together. We're so much stronger together. We're so much stronger with a team of us working than if it's just me, me, me. Like we can do triple, quadruple the work if we're doing it in a team than if we're doing it in solitary motion, you know. But saying that, we all have a unique essence within that team, within that community, So this kind of is like kind of awakening us with Uranus into our sense of self. Who am I within the greater whole, within the bigger picture? What is my unique gift for the community? How can we all activate our own light, our own solar essence, our soul within the collective consciousness? So I think the Aries energy has been morphed into this kind of war, like fighting, competition. I will win. I am the best, and actually, like in its purest essence. It's just our unique expression of soul, of self, and that is in harmony with the other senses of self, all the other droplets of water in this great vast ocean that we live in. We all belong here. We're all part of this ocean, and we're all here to be unique in that too, right? We're all here to, and when we're all playing our own unique song, we are actually like creating the most beautiful symphony effortlessly, just by being our true selves, just by being in our essence and sharing our gifts and our radiance and who we are. So this is what the like, because the balancing of it as well is like there's like an energy of having to look at perhaps like ways that we sabotage or sacrifice our sense of self for the other. So the full moon brings stuff up to the surface to be kind of squirted out like a spot. So it's kind of like, oh, let's bring it up and out, and let's really look at, the ways that we have sacrificed ourselves, that we have given, not allowed the space for ourselves because we need to keep the peace, you know? Oh, I won't take that extra thing for me because I want to keep the peace. I don't want to cause conflict. And this can be very Libran, it's kind of like wanting to be the peacemaker. But sometimes in trying to make the peace, we sacrifice our own needs, So this could be, there could be a lot of grief coming up around that as well, and lots of kind of also where the sun is, this could be bringing rage, with Uranus at Algol, this could be bringing rage, feelings of frustration, anger, like resentment of not having our sense of self validated or having space for our sense of self to shine and be, you know? So, yeah, so I'm going to go over into the chart for you all so we can see. So I've already been drawing here. You can see I've done this yellow here, which is the T-square that we've got to Jupiter and the nodes. So in the next month, there's going to be some big shifts here. So we're going to have the South Node moving into Leo and the North Node moving into Aquarius. So like I've said, there'll be a massive kind of technology burst and also communities. And, the South Node in Leo, the gifts of the past will be the leaders of the community, and one of the wonderful things that I love about the Lions is they're in the pride. They're in it together, they all work together. Which is also really beneficial for the Aquarian energy as well, that's coming in with the North Node shifting. So yeah, Jupiter square the nodes, so it feels like there's a challenge and a test or a lesson from Jupiter this full moon, maybe taking things too far. Maybe, with the Taurus energy, Jupiter could spend too much money, or he could be too generous and overgiving. So with the full moon, as you can see, is in Libra, is conjunct Juno. Juno in the mythology is the wife of Jupiter. Haha. So we've got that kind of energy here. So this feels like, wow, overgiving, or this is to do with our commitments and our marriage, and how, yeah, it could be in our personal relationships or even in our contracts that we have with business, with the work that we do, that we are contracted in and we're committed into some kind of contract, and how we have to give a lot of our energy to that. The South Node in Virgo is in service, So Jupiter here is like, hey, so we're going to be moving into this age of Aquarius, and we're going to be asked to be our unique essence, our unique self within the community container. But we really need to make sure that before we do this shift, we need to really ask ourselves, well, who am I in essence? What is my gift? What am I blooming here for? What's the point? What sets my soul ablaze with passion? You know? Um, and you can see as well, I'm just going to rub out what I've done so we can just get some clearness on this next T square. Oh, we love a T square, don't we? A bit of challenge. So you can see Mars is in Cancer. So Mars is feeling, a little bit sensitive, perhaps needing to keep himself to himself, be in his shell a little bit. Mars is still in this opposition to Pluto. This is the last one for a little while. The exact opposition was last week, so that's finished now. But the opposition is still in place, but it's causing this T square with Vesta and Black Moon Lilith. So this feels like there's like an energy because Pluto's just gone retrograde. So, yeah, going back to the beginning of the cycle at the new moon, all the planets were moving forward. So, through this Beltane and Samhain portal, there's been a lot of dynamic forward motion of things starting, of a good pace of life kind of going, yeah, 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 let's do it. Let's go. Let's make changes. Let's activate this new project. And we could have felt a lot of speed, a lot of things getting done that we've been wanting to get done for ages. And then Pluto went retrograde last week, and it's kind of put a bit of a break on some things. And I think Mars in Cancer, maybe we're having to go about it in a different direction than what we planned. Because, the crab kind of walks sideways, right? So it doesn't go in the direction that it's not like a simple forward motion, is it? It's a side to side kind of movement. And so it kind of makes me feel like, maybe the direction that we thought we was going to be building those castles in the sky in is not the original plan, so we're having to shift direction a bit or do things a little bit differently. Um, and this could be, a lot to do with the energy of kind of Pluto going retrograde and saying, okay, like we just need to make sure that we've got all the plans correct, that, everything is. And also kind of like Pluto in Capricorn is kind of like digging up a lot of our old structures or the way that we build things, the way that we organize things, and it's connected to the old kind of cycles of building, of security, and these kind of patterns and these cycles are very much, with Mars in Cancer to do with the family, to do with the past. And Black Moon Lilith in Virgo, here we are again. This is about service, being the servant, the slave, or maybe being highly critical of ourselves or others. So this energy with Lilith in square to Mars is quite a tricky one, and Pluto. And Vesta kind of it wants to tune into our devotion. Vesta in the myth was the Vesta Virgin. She never the Vesta Virgins were celibate. They didn't have partners or husbands. They was just keeping the flame alive. So her with Black Moon Lilith is all about sovereign feminine power, actually, which is a force to be reckoned with, I would say. So there's a lot coming up around our devotion to things, and um, this is causing kind of unsettled feelings within the home for Mars, and a lot of feelings of perhaps not feeling safe, feeling very vulnerable with this energy, not quite knowing, how to move forward, maybe having to move side to side for a bit and just feel into things because things are maybe feeling very erratic right now, especially with the sun, with Uranus over here. So, yeah, just go steady out there. Like, really, I literally nearly crashed my car this morning. It's like I had to remind myself, just slow down. It's such fast-paced energy at the moment. And yeah, Uranus with the sun can cause accidents for sure, can be unexpected plans, can be things not working out the way we thought. And yeah, but we could also get a chance to really, like with Iris here, to look at things differently. And something that I've been journeying with through this cycle is, the gifts that come with challenge, because I mean, I've had to push through quite a few times where it's been like, oh, and actually, like what I've achieved through that is like a sense of, oh my God, I did it. Like I was stronger than I thought I was. And actually, like with these energies with Aries and Uranus in Taurus, it can feel like we're having to push through something, like birth through something. When you give birth, you have to kind of, there's an energy, there's like a having to really push to get that life to come through. So we could be feeling like we're having to push, or that we're being pushed past our comfort zone, and we're being stretched with Jupiter square the nodes. We're being stretched, we're being asked to expand to really kind of like make more space for our soul to come in. So Mercury is also in Aries now. So the our mind can, like I said, this kind of our mind and our words and our thoughts very much kind of connected to this fast-paced energy, so yeah, our minds could be pretty active, especially when we're trying to sleep at night, and we've got Chiron and Eris next to Mercury as well, so there could be lots of kind of thoughts around our wounds, thoughts around, the ways that we like, because Eris has got this kind of element of the persecuted, very much links into where Uranus is with Algol as well. So Mercury conjunct Chiron and Eris, it's like the voice of the persecuted, the voice of the wounds, really needing to we might be reflecting, around our wounds. We may be talking around our wounds. This could be coming up a lot. No. So Jupiter, not Jupiter, sorry, Saturn and Neptune are together, and their conjunction is coming closer and closer. So this is like I've been sharing already, this is about with Ceres here, nurturing our dreams, but it can also be bringing up a sense of sadness as well, because Saturn can bring that sense of sadness. But I think to try and work with these two planets together, it's like, okay, how can I build those dreams? And Pluto's busy over here in in Capricorn, really dismantling all of the old structures that are not serving anymore. And in the meantime, there's all these new foundations being laid as well. So, like I've said, a really transformative, changing time. And what is happening now is I wanted to share as well that this moon in Libra is making this trine energy to Saturn and Ceres and the North Node, so it really is like this energy of, you know, what is our dream? How can we nurture our own dreams, our own visions, and create more balance within, actually starting to take steps towards those dreams coming into reality. Um, so yeah, this could be a good time to sort of start addressing the things that might be blocking us from really walking that path of true love, and union within ourselves and within our relationships and within the world. So yeah, so I'm thinking that's all I'm going to share for today. And yeah, it's really good to be back. It's really good to be recording some astrology magic for you all. Yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope to be back at the new moon. So, full moon blesses everyone. Watch out there. Mwah! Lots of love.